President Trump announcing a strategic crypto reserve. Our next guest is pro-crypto, but not in favor of this policy, posting on X, "It is wrong to steal my money for grift on the left. It's also wrong to take me for crypto bro schemes." Joining us now in an exclusive interview is Palantir co-founder and 8VC founding partner Joe Lonsdale. You love crypto. Why are you not a crypto bro? You're distinguishing yourself from other crypto bros.
I gotta be careful what I put out online.
Yeah.
You know, and I listen. I think there's a lot of great people in this administration that are 100% right that the Biden administration was ridiculous against crypto. Right? I think Gensler, the SEC, was totally arbitrary. They wouldn't say what the rules were, and so this administration is correct to support it, put in clear rules, make it easy for everyone to have crypto. I personally don't think the government should be picking winners and losers. I don't think you should be putting up online certain coins that are all of a sudden going to shoot up 25% and people can trade that and stuff. To me, that's not the right way to do it. You
see a lot of the moves that the Trump administration is making, and actually we were just talking about that previous interview, and you brought it up when you sat down as well. And we can talk about USAID if you want. They're gone, so they can't defend what their points were. But it seems to me that maybe part of the weakness in Bitcoin is that every move that the administration makes to try to stem the printing of fiat is a negative for Bitcoin. I mean, if you do,
it's true.
Isn't it true?
If you have a really sound dollar, then you don't need the anti-fiat thing nearly as much in the short term.
If you got Doge and you got trying to cut the deficit and everything else, those are all negatives for printing more money, which is what makes
that's the positive interpretation for sure. I still think we're dealing with some inflationary forces in this economy, and there's still other complications that could hit the market and that could do risk off. So there's both here. But listen, I mean, you just had these guys on discussing this USAID stuff, which I thought they were absolutely ridiculous. I think he cited 0.3% of it was fraud. We've seen hundreds of millions that are wasted.
A recent cut from Elon caused the death of an individual in Texas from measles. I mean,
that had nothing to do with it. I mean, the thing that we're seeing is there's these entrepreneurs like George Soros and others in the policy world. It's a very kind of sketchy type of entrepreneurship where they put a little bit of money up, they create a very political org such as Internews, and then they get hundreds of millions or billions of dollars from the government towards their political scheme, and then their political scheme goes around doing extraordinary.
How much of USAID is what percentage is things like that, though? Is it on the margin?
We found billions and billions of dollars at least, and you know what we've learned about these NGO schemes. I come from San Francisco originally, so I know this. Is you always hide them the things that sound the best, and then you attack everyone. How could you question homelessness? We all want to help the homeless. And by the way, there's huge amounts of fraud in there. How could you question helping people who are poor in Africa? So that's where they hide the nonsense.
Well, I was going to say what they answered when I asked just about some of the programs that some people have raised questions about. Said this doesn't sound like it makes any sense. They said, look, you have to reach some of these populations if you really want to get at the root problems of it. They will say it's the only way to go after health on some of these issues, and that their complaint was this was done by AI, done by a hatchet, not necessarily done in a thoughtful manner. What's the response?
And there's a couple of things here. First of all, I do think the people in the Bush administration did save a lot of lives in Africa, doing some great things. Now, it's one thing to put things in place and show people how to save lives. It's another thing, 20 years later, there's clinics in South Africa. What is South Africa spending their money on? They're giving money to the party of Julius Malema, who's calling to kill white people. He gets millions of dollars a year from this government. They're doing lawsuits against Israel. There's other things South Africa is spending money on. Let's take less of our money we give to them, force them to fund their own clinics now. We've shown them how to do it. There's no reason we should be funding a country that's wasting money on those crazy things.
Do you think that comes in and steps over? Because Dr. Atul Gawande was saying he thinks we're going to be looking at thousands of deaths a year later. You think what happens is maybe more like what we're seeing with Europe today, talking about how they're going to spend more on defense?
I think you need to force them to pick up some of these things and do it themselves. And at some point, it's their responsibility. And at some point, it's sad if they're not going to do it, but we've shown them how to do it, and it's their country. And we have people in our country who are suffering it, and we need to use our money for our things at some point.
I think we glossed over the why don't you like the reserve for Bitcoin? I don't think Pompliano.
I think there are some arguments to do a just Bitcoin reserve. I think choosing other winners in the space. I think he listed off a few different winners. I'm actually long some of those currencies. It's probably good for me if they do it from a financial perspective. I don't think that's the proper role of government to pick winners and losers. We got to be very careful. This administration is very properly cutting hundreds of billions of grift and waste. Like, we're finding out that these far left Democrats are basically a party of just stealing free money. Our side should not be doing things that are feeding money towards our side and our friends. We should be doing things based on the role of government.
Yeah, taxpayer is a hell of a thing. If you're looking at, I mean, just think of $1 billion. If you break that down for,
that's a lot of money.
Right, and then you get to hundreds of billions where there's no really cap on the ability to tax.
Stacey Abrams, $2 billion to her right before Biden leaves office. She gives it to a bunch of her groups, right? It's like $7 billion to this like crazy environmental group, which is all California Democrats. I mean, this is just scams. Like, we're finding all these scams, we're turning them off, and let's not do anything on our side. I mean, listen, if you want to use money to get them to turn off NGOs in general, to do an honorable, principled use of like an anti-communist NGO, we can debate about that, but I don't think it should be going towards winners and losers.
What happened on Friday? How do you view that?
Which area?
Zelensky.
Oh, listen, I thought all around it was kind of really unfortunate. Zelensky needed to be prepped on what J.D. Vance and Trump believe. I think our vice president and president have a certain view of the world. I respect a lot of how they see the world, and he came in, and he disrespected them, and he was used to getting his way, that he came in so arrogantly that it didn't work out, and it's very unfortunate.